Alright, so we're about finished now. I want to do one last thing, and that's show you how to change your username and password for the device. So going over onto our maintenance page here, we can see that we have our I'm looking at the wrong thing. Rightio. System settings, I'm afraid, is where user management is. My apologies. On this page here, we have two accounts set up by default. One is called default and one is called admin. So each of these have different permission levels. Obviously, admins can do pretty much everything, and defaults can only do limited ranges of things. So if I go into my default user and have a look at my user permission, I can allow my default user or my everyday user to do certain things. So I might want them to be able to see some of the cameras up on the screen, but not all of them. So I could turn off these ones, and only channels 1 through 4 are available to see for the default user. However, the admin can obviously see all of the cameras, and the recording and everything else still happens in the background no matter what. But my default user can't go in and change, turn off the recording. They can't find the files and back them up or do whatever else you want to do. So it's important for multi-user sites that you control who can and can't do certain things. Your managers might need to be able to do local backup. Your staff probably don't. If they do need to do local backup for the staff, well, the staff might not need to see the footage or be able to delete the footage from the hard drive itself. So all of that sort of control is through here and allows you to do that. Now, by selecting one of these, I can modify my user. So my default username has no password, and I can tell them what type of user they are, an operator or a normal user. My admin has a default password of 888888, as I said. Obviously, I've just said that out on this video to the internet and to the world. You may want to change that password. Now, that password can be anything that you choose it to be. Now, problem you're going to come across is if you forget that password, the only place that that can be recovered is back at DOS headquarters itself in Melbourne. It's the only place where that can be done. We can't send you a master code or do anything else like that to fix it. It has to come back and be looked after by our technicians here. So keep that in mind. If you change that password, it has to, and you forget that password, it has to come back to us for resetting. Now, changing the password is still a very useful thing to do. So make sure that you keep a copy of that password for you. You might use a password manager on your phone or tablet or on your PC. You might keep a log of all your passwords somewhere. You might have a diary with all your passwords sitting in a shelf or in your safe somewhere, but please keep a copy of that so you can go back to it in times of trouble. And that is how you set up a username and password for this device.